Welcome back, everybody. Today, we make a bit different again. We want to discuss a few more things that is actually going on in the membership and around the membership and with the followers and the things that we pick up throughout the week. And that's where there was a good situation where we thought it's good to talk about this today. So, without further ado, let's dive into this.
Paperless movement, your productivity, your way.
Everybody, welcome back to another Productivity Like a Pro podcast episode with my dear friend and co-founder Paco Cantero and our members inside the chat. Today, Paco, we want to have a difficult discussion. You know, when you sit down with your child and you have to talk about difficult things, I have a feeling it's a bit like this. No, the thing is to give a bit more context what this is all about. It's about Obsidian and whether you should use it or not. And maybe you have recognized on YouTube that I just published a video that claims don't use Obsidian and why I ditched Obsidian. And inside this video, I mainly explain the reasoning focusing on the feature richness of Obsidian and how overwhelmed people get when they want to set this up, and focusing on busy professionals in this case, right? Not on the nerdy tech-savvy people who love to tinker with the productivity system, but people who are in the daily grind and seeking for productivity tools in order to enhance their work, to win back time. And too many people get stuck in the grind of updating the PKM system, the personal knowledge management system. Well, you just have to go over there. Within 24 hours, it was 10,000 views there and loads of comments below, especially from people complaining that this is clickbait and that they fully disagree. And one common thing that you see in the comments is, well, but Obsidian is for free. Well, all these things I thought I let Paco know and let's discuss this, because I know Paco has also his own experience with Obsidian. And I used Obsidian heavily until other tools appeared on the skyline that replaced Obsidian for the two of us. And as we know, for many of the members as well, especially for this reason, to not getting stuck in setting up a PKM system and nurturing it and trying to expand it with plugins and things like that. So Paco, what's your experience with Obsidian and why we both are fully aligned on when we talk to our inner circle members as well in our coaching program to avoid our Obsidian-like tools, right?
Well, too many things to say here, so please stop me because it's, a long story. Well, in fact, people can visit my Medium profile and see the articles, because I used Obsidian, I think, for 1.5 years or so. Well, it was my last attempt, the last time I tried to force the things to just one tool to run everything, okay? I came from Notion, okay? And due to the structure features of the tool, okay, because it's based on tables and databases and all that, I needed something much more flexible. And I have to say that at that moment, Obsidian resonated a lot to me because it allowed me to connect the ideas, and also that graph was something that at that moment, we have to remember that this was started by two people during the COVID crisis, okay? Two people who were programmers. And then they started, betting on this type of Electron app, okay, as it's called, okay? And then it was the first time that someone really bet on this plugin approach, at least as I saw it, talking about creating like a core, okay? An app that it's a core, and then any people can develop plugins. It was something amazing at that time. I followed a lot Kepano, who is the current CEO of the company, because he started designing themes, okay? Talking about graphical user interface designs to make Obsidian a little bit better. He tried his best, okay? But I tried to copy and paste the design of beautiful applications like Craft, for instance. And at the end, I dedicated 6 months to set up Obsidian correctly to my workflows and all the things. And for me, too many disadvantages, okay? We have to think that the people who developed these things were thinking about programmers, okay? It was an editor, okay? Upgrading an editor for people who were coding, okay? And that's it all, okay? Since then, all the people who started using Obsidian started using, because we have to admit, because we are not critics related to Obsidian or say that it's a bad tool or whatever. It's an amazing software.
And it was
the
funny
point
thing,
is that
in the whole video, I wasn't bashing Obsidian at all. It wasn't the point to blame Obsidian to be a bad tool and you cannot do anything. And the reaction is really
it's amazing.
interesting
And
to
also, I double down on Kepano, the CEO, because he's an amazing person who knows a lot about not only software, but life in general. Okay. It's an amazing person, and the team in Obsidian, I consider they are fantastic because they are so small, and what they have delivered, the community, the users, everything that they have achieved, for me, it's simply amazing. Okay. Simply amazing. The point is this the right tool for a busy professional? Okay. For a marketing manager, for a CEO, for, I don't know, even entrepreneurs who needs to dedicate a lot of time to different things? I don't think so. Okay. I put my soul, my heart, and everything into Obsidian to create that perfect setup. And for me, it never worked. Okay. At the end, I ended up, well, in a ecosystem that wasn't working properly. That was the moment that, in my case, I concluded that one tool for everything, it's something that it doesn't make any sense at all, because maybe Obsidian, it's really nice to connect nodes, ideas, or whatever. But the moment that you want to convert into a pure task management, it's something that it doesn't work. Obviously, you can force the things to the limits. Okay. Also, you can say that it's an amazing project management tool, but the moment that you start comparing with top tools in the market related to task management or business knowledge management or project management, it's something that it doesn't work. Also, the local first is an approach that I totally disagree. I remember when I started coding, talking about decades ago, and I was fed up of files. Okay. The moment that databases emerged was kind of release for me. Okay. So the moment that I saw myself in 2020 going back to managing files in a local vault, creating sync to other things to take care of my database, that for me it's something that, sorry, but I prefer to trust on solid companies, or companies that I trust, okay, like let's say ClickUp, Notion, whatever, the big players, okay, Google, whatever, than saying that my data and files are much safer if I take care of them. I totally disagree on that. And I'm a computer science engineer. I think that I have a certain level of knowledge, and I have, well, set up email servers and things talking about architecture. But for me, all those things, you know.
Now I see the people who forced into using local files only. And, we have busy professionals who need to rely on this, but that's something I pointed out in the video as well with Heptabase, for example. It offers you both. You can completely go offline with it and have a local storage only if the company doesn't allow you to have a cloud-based tool at all. But still, it is a paid tool. And talking about free tools, right? That we saw this just with Omnivore, that run out of business, where there actually was never a business in the first place, and it was free. And they had no more manpower to keep this running, and run out of money because there was no money coming in. And this was another thing I didn't mention in the video yet, probably a follow-up video where we discuss free tools versus paid tools. But I just wanted to bring this up, that there are people who, they bet on local because they have no other choice as well. So what do you think about these people?
Well, the point is that for me, I only use software tools that I know that the ROI is guaranteed. Okay. Yeah. I always say that if you use correctly the software based on your needs and the main purpose of that software, it doesn't matter what you pay. It's always an investment. We have the extreme talking about superhuman, it's an email client, $30 per month. It's something that the other day I was yesterday or today, I don't know, I think it was today, talking to Tom that I had to use the Gmail client, okay? And for me, it was like going back to a dark past, okay, of my story and my life. The moment that you go into an amazing tool, you never look back. And it doesn't matter the cost. Well, it has to be insane, okay? If we think about SAP or big implementations about ERPs, okay, well, they're the ROI, but for individuals, okay, for personal users or small teams, usually if you use the correct tool and in the right way, it will always be an investment. And in my case, I never trust on free products, okay, to build my productivity system. Okay, there are people who say, I want it local first because I own my data. Okay, but what about free? If it's for free, I don't trust that. I don't know if that's going to disappear. For instance, Omnivore, that, well, I think I made a comparison with Rick Wise and another read later up, that it doesn't make sense if you are always focused on free things. It's impossible for the company to survive, to keep delivering, to stay alive, to keep, sustaining you. It doesn't make sense. We need to pay to professionals to deliver tools that we can perfectly use. It's like finding cars out there for free. Doesn't make sense for the people. If someone tells you, well, you can use this car for free, well, I will untrust, maybe the brakes don't work. I don't know, But talking about software, it's exactly the same, and specifically for professional purposes, because I can use something for free, just because it's a test or whatever. But if not, I wouldn't trust it for professional purposes.
I remember an anecdote about this as well. I think, well, it's now more than 2 years ago I made this video on YouTube talking about Notability. For those who don't know, it's a handwriting note-taking app on the iPad, and it costs, I think, $8 one-time payment for this. All right. And then they started charging monthly on a subscription fee. I don't even know what it was. It was around $4 or something per month. And people were outraged. They were angry. I made a video about it and I tried to explain why it is so important for companies to make more than just $8 one-time fee, especially for software companies like this, to stay in the business, right? And the thing is, people kept complaining. And I remember one comment that was the most interesting one. He was writing that he bought Notability, I don't know, 6 years ago for the $8. And then he made 3 degrees with Notability. He used it all the time. And he was such a fan of Notability. But now, with the change to a subscription fee, I'm off. And I think, what the heck is going on with these people? He paid $8 for a tool that helped him succeed in 3 degrees, increasing his income, all these things. And you're not giving anything back to the company when they ask for $4 per month to stay in business and, ensure that security will be aligned, that they keep developing the tool and paying all the different people there. This is really, I think, where's this mindset coming from? And that's where, you see it in so many other places in the gaming industry. All these free games, the moment a game is free, I know it's crap. Because it will be some microtransactions that people have to do in order to pay to win and things like that. And this is something really worrying when it comes to tools as well. And if there is a free trial, that's something people have, but then it's not long enough. There are so many complainers out there, but we really have to sit down. And we are talking not only about students, we're talking about people who are big people in business. They have the same mindset sometimes where they say, I'm spending far too much already on subscriptions per month for tools. I'm not paying anything more for this and this app. And this just tells me that this person has no control over what they're paying things on, right? Because if so, the return of investment would be there. If I'm paying, as you said, Paco, if you're paying $30 for Superhuman per month, but you have no idea how to manage your inbox and stay on top of the game, then you don't see the return of investment of the $30. But for the two of us and for many of our members, especially going through the inner circle, where they realize use a tool on a very basic level as much as you can until you realize there is a ceiling that you hit, an invisible wall that you cannot go through, then look for enhancement of the tool, not even moving on to another tool. Superhuman is a satellite app per definition of ICOR. So that means it's just enhancing an existing tool. And you mentioned Gmail and how much you suffered back then when you started using it again with your wife there. And getting back to Superhuman, you immediately saw how much it is worth it. But people don't see it if they don't know why they should using it. We have people starting using Superhuman and they think this is a complete different email client or things like that. So that's where we really have our mission to educate you guys out there about the different tools, the different features and the reasoning for using these tools. Because once you understand why you're using the tools that you use and use them as efficient as possible or effective as possible, then ROI is guaranteed. you will understand you're saving, if you just save 10 minutes a day and you accumulate this throughout a month, that you're saving by using a tool. And if you are earning a lot of money per hour, it's easy to justify paying $10 a month if you in return have 1 hour more per month in order to get more done, have another client call, all these things that people don't see, the opportunity costs that come along with this, right, Paco?
Yes, and when you look backwards with a certain perspective, people are not conscious of how expensive software was in the 90s or in 2000. That was insane. Okay, that was the thing, because I don't understand why. I think that a lot of people don't understand the complexity behind software. Okay, I think that I'm a computer science engineer, and I remember that at that moment in the 90s, a computer science engineer was someone who wasn't appreciated at all. I mean, talking about the real added value that that person delivers to the society. People admire, architects, or talking about engineers who build bridges, because it seems that building a bridge is much more complicated than building software. And that's something that I completely disagree. Both are at a level of complexity. And I've always said the same, that especially nowadays, there aren't any engineer that builds a bridge without using software. So I don't know who is more important. No, but jokes apart, the point is that the moment that SaaS appeared, software as a service, that was a revolution. Okay, that was the cost of reducing the cost to something that it's a gift. And that was the second wave of this trend, was the App Store. Okay, the moment that you could buy apps or tools of software for just $1, $5, whatever, that was simply life-changing. Receiving that amazing value for those amount of money per month, it's a gift, because the moment that you have a tool stack that is perfectly defined, and that's why we deliver and created and designed the ICOR framework that allows you to have your perfect tool stack. Okay, there aren't any tools that you can remove from the ICOR framework, because your system will start operating. And the moment that you have 100% guarantee that you have the minimum amount of tools and you are using them correctly for the right purpose they were developed, it's impossible not to see software as an investment. And I would even say more, I would like to pay even more so that those guys can deliver even faster, in my opinion, and better features, because there's another trend, okay, that it seems that software had to be backed by venture capitalists, okay, and those type of companies. And right now there are, I don't know, in our tool stack, how many of them are just bootstrap? And I think that that's amazing, because it seems that the only business model for software companies were just, I receive a ton of money, I start delivering reckless without being conscious if it's needed, not needed, because I got here the backup of the money, and then we will see if it works or not with, 1% of success companies and the rest disappearing. Right now, there are pretty solid companies that are bootstrapped, that are backed by their current users, paying those fees, okay, monthly fees and monthly revenues that allows them to survive and to keep delivering, and also giving you the certainty that they won't disappear, okay, that they are here for the long term. And that's how you can perfectly trust on those companies. And they are not even huge companies, We can talk about MyMind, Readwise. Yeah. All those companies are profitable, are betting on the long term, made by just a few people, 15, 20. We are not going crazy to 1,000 people or something. And they work perfectly, and they deliver products that are really useful for busy professionals. And I think that that's something that, resonates a lot with us.
And it also brings in a positive feedback loop. If you see that people put money on the table and in order to support you and trust you with the tool that you're building there, then you have already people who are really serious about the tool, and then you can really ask for them, what do you want to see in the tool more, and things like that, and make conscious decisions. When you have a free tool and everybody and their dog uses this tool, and then everybody is asking always for having all the features to get the one and only solution there, that's also a problem there. And then on the other hand, with the venture capital, that's something we have seen many times in the tools that we've been using as well. when people get stakeholders they have to rely on, they have to add a team plan there. That's something that we saw. They always get forced to go from B2C to B2B with their tool, even if the tool structure doesn't even, is not made for this. As we clearly differentiate between PKM, personal knowledge management, and BKM, business knowledge management, in the ICOR methodology. That's something they try to mix up. And that's something where you've had a tool that was amazing with the feature set, and suddenly you're bringing in a complete different type or area of a productivity system into the same tool. And that's something that we saw will never work when you use one tool to try to manage everything.
Hey, enjoying the content so far? So how do you feel after seeing all this? Do you think your productivity system is at this level? Take our free 3-minute quiz to find out. Whether you struggle with note-taking, PKM, task or project management, or even workflow automation, we've got you covered. Depending on your results, you'll get a tailor-made free email course starting right after you finish the quiz that will instantly level up your productivity system with laser-focused actionable advice. Click the link in the description below and unlock your full potential. And we are personally here to help you succeed. So let's ICOR together.
Well, John pointed out in the chat here, I just want to share this. This is why I like ICOR so much. I follow the logical principles and work on finding the tools and ecosystem that works for me specifically. And that's really key. Not running after the next tutorial on YouTube or templates, even worse, and courses around these tools that are very rigid for a specific use case. And then you try to make it work in your life. This is not working. You have to understand what's going on in your life, in your business. The tool-agnostic workflows going on, and then you will approach a digital tool in a complete different way. Yeah, and John also pointed out, I think there is a Silicon Valley influence that software companies should be free for adoption, then monetize, rather than normal software business models. And there's nothing wrong about this, having a free trial. People, that's great when I can check out a tool for free, and then I start using it. And well, I'm filling in my data, so it's more likely that I will convert. But if it doesn't work at all for me, well, then I didn't lose any money. So that's a good approach. It's not bad having a free trial there, but having a free tool completely just because a hobby developer started this as a side project and now it suddenly gets some traction and many people using it, demanding more and more features. It's fun in the beginning. Maybe he makes a vlog on YouTube. Everybody can join the process and all these things are amazing. But at some point, you have to make money with it. Otherwise, you either lose your other job because you're too focused on this and then you have no money at all, or you lose motivation. And that's the problem, getting back to Obsidian, the thing that we talk about here. That's the problem with Obsidian, and we didn't address properly the local first approach. As you pointed out, you're not believing in this, and me neither. I rather have my information also on a secure cloud storage where I pay money for, that I can trust, like Dropbox or Google, and instead of having it locally. But there are people who are forced to have it local, and yes, you then have to look for tools that work local first. But there are other tools that are paid. As I said, Heptabase, Noteplan, I think it's the name, Noteplan 2, that also uses markdown files, all amazing features that are there, but it doesn't allow you the expansion as much as Obsidian does, okay? It's a framework that has boundaries that you have to use in there, like the Apple ecosystem. It's another example that I really like because yes, you cannot expand it amazingly as an Android and individualize it. But if you have no idea how to set up proper systems, then you get just stuck in testing around and it's in the end just a mess not working. So I rather trust on people who are focusing on making things as efficient as possible, and I just try to make it work for my specific use case than building my own tool. And the last thing I want to mention here is then plugins for Obsidian that helps you to make this tool any way that you like it to be. But that's the biggest danger for our busy professionals in our opinion, as these plugins are made on third-party people, developers, hobby developers who are just into expanding this for their own needs, and then they have the same problem. They create this for free for the community, but will they always update this forever? If there is an update coming out from Obsidian that breaks the plugin and the developer decided no longer to update it, it might break your whole setup forever. There's no going back. And what then? Then you have a pile of files locally that you're so proud of, but they are all in a markdown formatting that not every other tool easily can pick up and make sense out of it. No, you have to go to another tool anyway and try to get back this information in there. And in this regards, I don't care, because if a tool has an export feature, it gives me the same pile of files that I would get from Obsidian if I'm forced to move to another tool. So again, for us, we are never scared moving to other tools, as it's all based on our tool-agnostic concepts and workflows that we rely on, and we will apply this in another tool. And I think we should do another episode about Tana, because that's another thing. So many people seeing us using Tana, and then I want to use this as well. But it is another Obsidian. Just, well, it is paid. It's maybe a different level, but it is based on complexity. It's too overwhelming for too many busy professionals that we talk to. And we always come back to Heptabase and say, try to double down on that. Master Heptabase first, and then have a look at other tools. Man, 30 minutes over. We could talk for hours about just Obsidian, but we are curious to hear more from you guys in the comments below, and there certainly will be follow-up sessions about this. Everybody, I hope this was an interesting talk here, and based on the chat discussions, well, all of you guys agreed with us, as we are here to run our business every day, run inside our businesses around, and being busy with other things than just updating our tool setup. Rather work on your tool-agnostic productivity system first. Everybody, nice talking to you, and we catch you up next time.
Thank you, guys. See you.